Why are we all here? Why are you all listening to this human being speaking every week? The reason I am here is a higher love. And that higher love is something I wish to reveal to as many human beings as possible. It is also something that I wish to continue to see manifest in the world, in the lives of those who need it. In my instance, namely, the special needs children that we deal with, the homeless and street-involved children that we are a family for. Our rescue dogs, which are a family as well to us. A higher love is what I am wanting to share with the world. Now the natural arising in a human when you look at this one talking may be to perceive that the word you are pointing at me with, John, my birth name is John St. Julien. This is my birth certificate identity. That word you are pointing at me with, you may perceive and look at this human vessel, and you will see that which you think of this human. And so you don't perceive the actuality, you perceive an image in your mind of what I am. And so as you look at me, you may feel from that position that there is a person there. There's this man here. His name's John, he's English, and he's helped all these children, and he speaks about this spiritual awakening and this relationship he has with the presence of God. But the reality is that if you do that, you're playing into an illusion. And that illusion will not allow for the higher love to be anything but an ideology or an idea or a concept, is what I have gone through and seen. And you see, we are an extension of the love of God, a higher love. And we were born to be that extension, and we were originally manifest in this reality to be just that. And what happens is that never leaves. You are undoubtedly that higher love of God manifest in this world, and yet most don't feel it. And we don't feel it because another program has been thrown over that higher love. The program of the mind, of the self, creates not a separation, but a sense of a separation from it. So much so that we enter this maze of amnesia of our core nature, and we long for that higher love's presence and fulfillment. You are what you are looking for. The search for God, the search for the ultimate truth, it already exists in the beingness, in the essence, in the soul of the human vessel you are, that animates the human vessel you are, that brings light to its eyes. You are already the presence and the truth of God that you are seeking. And what is happening is the program that's being thrown over it of a self feels like it needs to do something to find it. never realizing that it is the reason that you feel distant from it or separated from it. You see, there's nothing for you realistically to do to get back to the soul awareness, to the presence of God. The one who wishes to do something is the only reason you're not feeling it. Now, it doesn't mean that some changes may need to come, because some humans have lived in the sense of separation from that for so long that now the body has been programmed into the third dimension so heavily to addiction of pleasure, immorality, sexual immorality, searching and seeking with that self program, that when you try to connect to the soul before your body settles and its vitality is present for you to connect to it, the body feels discomfort and runs back to its safety blanket, whatever that might be, which can often be very dark and very immoral behavior for some of us. Or it can be quite an innocent comfort blanket, but still not what's good for your soul awareness, for the presence to be realigned with. You may be binge watching series that are funny or whatever, but it's still looking in the wrong space. And so that presence of God that everyone's looking for, it's with you. You are it. It's in you. It's just under a program that is capturing your attention of a self-image, of a separate self-image. And that self-image can be very rigid. You can pick up unresolved trauma. So as you're living your life, because you're running that program of the self, something terrible might happen to you. And it traumatizes you. And in that instant, because you are not connected to the presence whereby which emotion flows freely and you may weep and cry or tremble with fear, the program in its clumsiness wants to try and protect you and does you harm by not letting you feel what needs to be felt, and that becomes unresolved trauma. And so this program gets deeper and deeper as the years go by, but it doesn't change that what you're searching for is here and now, and it's you. And it's there with you, always. Despite that program, it's there with you. And when you recognize it and you stop searching and seeking and longing, you fall back into this state which is the rebirth. And it's always been with you here and now, and it awakens, and what you realize is that the higher love that we long for inside our human story, that we long for when we protest injustice, that we long for when we weep for the sick and the impoverished, the higher love that we want to see manifest is with you. And beyond there, not only is it with you, but it is you in your core essence. And that is the beginning of truth being revealed to the human organism and its consciousness and its awareness. Truth that is sought by the program of the seeker. If it's sought in books, YouTube, if it's sought in stories of old, in different symbologies, so long as that seeker image is searching. The human that is in the perfection that we were in Eden, before the engagement of the element within us that makes us be an arrogant knower. When you are in the perfection, you have to acknowledge that nobody knows what this is, where this is, and I'm referencing life. It's pure arrogance to say that you know, because you don't. And understanding that you don't occurs when that arrogant knower of knowledge is surrendered by the vessel, not by the knower itself, because the knower of knowledge is not able to surrender itself. The heart must surrender it, not the mind. The mind can't surrender itself. The heart, the vessel, the soul must say enough of the knower of knowledge. Because the one who has knowledge and says, oh, it's this, it's that, it's the birth of arrogance and pride. And when you're therefore in the perfected state, immense relief hits you, because you are left with no option but to give thanks to God for this amazing arising in consciousness and manifestation of life, that we don't know what it is, but at least we are here. At least we get to love. At least we get to breathe it in. That's faith in its ultimate format, is being able to have the wisdom to know that you know nothing, and it's arrogant for us to say that we definitely know. When you enter that space of consciousness where the human vessel's free of the program of the knower, of the seeker, of the self-image, of the 3D identity, your birth certificate identity, it's free of it influencing it. You awaken into the present moment, and when you do so, and that program's not running, the feeling and sense you get throughout your body is a higher love. And interestingly, that higher love then begins to reveal to the vessel different workings of reality that it couldn't perceive whilst searching for it. It becomes revealed, because you've now begun to have a true relationship with Creator and creation. Because if you try to have a relationship with another human being, and when you come to them, you see them through the image you hold of them, and not through a self-image free vessel where your senses can look at the person and interact. Particularly difficult with family. When you meet family, you've got memories with them, you think you know them, and so you don't see them, and so there's no connection there. Most families, there's no real connectivity. You see most of the time the image of the person inside your mind, not the person and their needs and their individual vulnerabilities, etc., in front of you here and now. Rather, you see the image of them. And so this happens because we're running the program of memory. And here and now, as I often say, to see the world without language and memory, there we are in the freedom, whereby the presence of God, that higher love, expands through, from, and around you. And not only that, but because now you are interacting with reality with all of your sensory capacity, or a greatly increased sensory capacity, because you're actually seeing reality. You're not seeing words about reality and the images that you've academically stored about those words. You're seeing reality. Somehow there in that space of consciousness, then that which you were searching for with the program of a searcher and the self-image, there it is revealed to you. There the truth begins to be revealed. There the love of God is revealed. There the presence of God is revealed. There your own healing is revealed. And the longer you stay there, the more it reaches in and pulls out all of those unresolved elements of the records of your life that you've kept, that we can maybe sometimes call unresolved trauma, for example. And it leaves you these energies that you've programmed in, and because of the program of the searcher, you've locked them. The longer you stay like that, free, the higher love becomes present. The higher love becomes your identity. Because it always was you. It's just a program has caught your attention away from that awareness that you are inexplicably close to the presence of God, that you can barely separate yourself from it, and that love is yours and you were born with it. And the search lacks humility. The searcher has arrogance. In Eden, it wasn't there. It was a trust. In the present moment, the search is not there. There's a trust. There's a I belong to that which is going on around me here and now. This perfection which is tampered with in many elements, but underriding the presence of a higher love was always what gave way for all of creation, and therefore is always accessible, so long as we don't fall into the trap of becoming a self-image that's separated. Because when you do that, you kind of in your own little environment, in your own little ecosystem, you begin to do what Lucifer did. I don't trust God and the Spirit and the presence of that higher love to know what's best for the vessel. Instead, this program of a self-image, it will know what's best, and I will ignore that glorious higher love. And I will instead do it based upon purely matter on matter and my intelligence. And then eventually you feel void in that same part of you that arrogantly pushed God out so as you could retain that self-image, instead of allowing the vessel to be owned, controlled by the present moment and the divine will that is hidden within there, or that was always there, but only in a sense of hidden because it's behind the program of the separate self. You get to a point where you say, I need God, I need something more, this is not right. And people start a whole lifetime of searching, never realizing that right in front of them was that higher love. And you just weren't aware of it because you weren't still enough to remember it, because you were so busy running the program of the seeker. The one who is searching for the higher love, the one who is searching for that space in consciousness, not the idea of unconditioned love. The searcher has many ideas of unconditioned love, but the one who the unconditioned love that transforms everything about the vessel and its actions and its intelligence. It's only absent because of the searcher paying too much attention to the outward and not the inward. And that void will never be filled in the world. And people will spend their whole life searching in different ways. Some will search in religion, in spirituality. Others will search in in travel, others will search in entertainment, others will search in adrenaline rushes. And it's part of the game of the search, I guess, but at the same time, the true wholeness that they want was always very, very close. The peace that surpasses all understanding. It's with you. You're just paying attention to everywhere but the fact that if your human organism has no self-image program running, all that remains is that peace. And from there rises the truth, the presence, and with it, I thoroughly believe by now, from what I've witnessed, the destiny, therefore the meaning of life for you as the soul consciousness that is embodied in this particular human vessel, this particular sentient vessel. The meaning, the truth, it's not in anywhere but you. For woe to the lawgivers, they take away the keys to the kingdom, for they do not enter within. The reason your inner peace is absent or not felt as persistently as you would like is because the one searching for it is filling up the space whereby which it should be felt. And perhaps you have drained your vitality with addictions to the 3D, to the world, and you need to realign with some discomfort. So you have the vitality available to say no to those activities and say yes to your true self. And if you hear this and it stirs something, then you go, yes, now what do I do? The first thing you should inquire is the one asking what to do, the self-image that's getting in the way of that which I'm pointing at. And that inquiry can often be the beginning of a phenomenal journey for us human beings, of waking up into the unreal magic and wonder and freshness of every precious moment that is only revealed when the vessel is free of that image of the knower of knowledge and all the arrogance and pride it gives birth to. The higher love. Oh, and you will not even question when you found it, if you've done the right thing. It is the presence of God. It is the awakened state. It is the reborn man. It is everything you will ever need forevermore. And it's with you right now, whether you feel it or not. It's just you're running a program that's caught your attention for so long that you aren't sensing it and recognizing the reality of it. That you are the higher love and the very core of what animates what you are. I love you all. I will always try to reveal this space that I found to people because I want them to be joyous and happy. And I also want them to see what that love can manifest in the world when it has a human vessel to work through. And I want to see that manifest a lot in the world. Because I want to see many more families like ours arise through no effort of a John and Englishman, but through a strenuous effort of the will of unconditioned love, persistently just rolling around the world looking for openings to manifest in the human story. Be that opening. Trust it. Be in faith. Let it take your vessel. Have faith, trust, full trust. And there you'll let go of the program of the one who's trying to provide for you, instead of falling back and trusting a higher power to be that provider for you and those around you. If you don't feel immense inner peace, you have some element of the self-image program to let go of before that will truly manifest well for you. Your immense inner peace is the giveaway that it's happened. The search stops, and the bliss arises. And as Joseph Campbell said, you follow that bliss. God bless, guys. Be well. I want to take just a few moments of your time to share with you an exciting project that we have going with the charity for the rest of the year. Before I go any further with that, I want to show you why we are doing this project and who we are helping with it. This child's name is Jane, and we found Jane just 1 kilometre away from where we are building our new children's village, which is a 9-hour drive from our existing one. That area has nobody educating, caring for, or trying to assist children with special needs. Jane's mum has to go to work, and so the only option she felt she had to keep her daughter safe was to peg her to the floor, as you see here. This, of course, is not a way of life for anyone, and Jane has lived that way the whole of her life. What we are trying to do is make sure that we can build a solution that's functional for children like Jane. To do that, we need to raise $200,000 by the end of the year. And to do that, we are hoping to get 2,000 volunteers who will agree to fundraise $25 a month, or if you are blessed enough to be able to share that without fundraising, of course, that's an option, every month for the rest of the year. If 2,000 people can commit to doing this, I know, because I have a working blueprint of the village that we currently have, that I can build a working solution that will be able to provide a loving home for 150 special needs children in that location. I also can say that every dollar will go towards construction. Every dollar. And this is a promise that I know I can make, because after 10 years, I think I'm probably better seated than most human beings to fix this problem. If you want to know more about the project, feel free to reach out, or you can visit the link at the bottom of the screen, www.sharetanzania.com/2000 strong. There you'll find out all the information you need. Thank you for the love and support. We can't do what we do for these children without you. God bless, guys. Bye.